please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's town board meeting. It is April 10th, 2018. First thing on our agenda tonight is public hearings. First one is amend zoning R20 for a special permitted use for car storage. I would ask the town clerk to read that notice.
Please take notice that the town board of the town of Mount Pleasant, New York, shall conduct a public hearing at the town hall on the 10th day of April, 2018 at 8 p.m. to discuss a proposed local law 2/2018, which will amend the town code section 218-109 and create a special permit for car storage facilities, warehouses, and general storage facilities in residential zoning districts. Please take further notice that the proposed local law 2018 is available for review in the town clerk's office. At said hearing, all persons shall be heard. Patricia June Scova, town clerk, town of Mount Pleasant.
Thank you. I'll read the proposed local law. Bless you. A local law to authorize the town of Mount Pleasant Town Board pursuant to provisions of section 218-109 of the town of Mount Pleasant Code and section 265 of the town law, state of New York, to consider and approve car storage facilities and the additional uses listed below in section 1C as special permit use. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Mount Pleasant as follows. Purposes and intent. The town board finds that there is a need in town for indoor facilities devoted to general storage and the storage of vehicles to serve the needs of, among other, collectors of antiques and collectible cars and owners of luxury cars in an enclosed, secure setting in which storage is on a long-term basis. The town board further finds that there are properties which, although located in single-family zones, are situated on county and state highways and or share a boundary line with limited access to state parkways, and therefore such parcels may be better suited for improvements with and use as a car storage facility than for single-family dwellings. An issue to be considered and determined on a case-by-case basis by the town board pursuant to the regulatory mechanism of a special permit. Creation of a special permit used for car storage facilities, warehouse facilities, general storage, and office lounge space in a residential zoning district will allow the achievement of the purposes specified in paragraph A and B of this section 1 by permitting such uses on parcels having one or more of the characteristics specified in paragraph B, subject to meeting specific criteria applicable to the special permit and fulfillment of reasonable conditions deemed necessary by the town board to preserve the character and value of nearby properties. Chapter 218 of the Town of Mount Pleasant Code is hereby amended to add a definition of car storage facilities to section 218-3, which reads as follows. An enclosed building for the storage of vehicles on a non-transient basis, which shall otherwise not fall within the definitions of public or private garage, and in which vehicles being stored are not expected to enter and exit the facility on a daily basis. No vehicle sales showrooms, automated car washing facilities, or substantive mechanical or repair work shall be permitted in the car storage facility. Add a new section 218-61.1, car storage facilities, which reads as follows. The town board shall be the approving agency for special permits for car storage facilities in residential districts. A car storage facility shall be fully enclosed. In order to be eligible for a special permit for improvement with and use as a car storage facility, any lot must have frontage on a state or county road or highway. To the extent they are inconsistent with any dimensional bulk area, parking, and use requirements set forth elsewhere in this chapter 218 of the town code, including but not limited to attachments 1 through 9, the tables of regulations, residential districts. The dimensional bulk area, parking, and use standards of this section 218-61-1 shall control. The following dimensional standards apply to car storage facilities. The minimum lot area shall be 30,000 square feet. The mean depth of the lot shall be at least 75 feet. The minimum front yard shall be 10 feet. The front yard shall be deemed the yard of access when fronting on two roads, and the other shall be the rear yard. The minimum side yard shall be 15 feet, and the total of two side yards shall be at least 40 feet. Minimum rear yard shall be 25 feet. The maximum building height shall be 3 stories or 45 feet above the average finished grade. The maximum floor area ratio for the principal building shall be 3.0. Maximum building coverage shall be 50%, and none of the required yards shall apply to or limit the location of the walls of any portion of the car storage facility that is below ground, so long as no portion of the building, either subterranean or above ground, is within 5 feet of any lot line. And 1 off-street loading space is required of sufficient size to accommodate a vehicle carrier and/or trailer rig. A landscape buffer of no less than 5 feet in width shall be located adjacent to the side, rear, and front lot lines, provided, however, that such buffer shall not be required in proximity to driveways or walking pathways leading to and from the parcel, nor be located in an area that could impede sight distance for ingress or egress or block the visibility of any freestanding signs allowed on the parcel. Accessory uses for car storage facilities include off-street parking either outdoors or in the facility. The provision of Section 218-90B of the Code shall not apply to off-street parking accessory to car storage facilities, provided that no portion of the off-street parking facility shall be within 5 feet of the front lot line and 5 feet of the side lot line. 2, an office with an associated lounge with the car storage facility utilized in operation of the facility not to exceed 7,000 square feet in area. Add new section 218-89A 19, which reads as follows. For car storage facilities, the minimum requirement shall be 1 space for every 40 vehicles storage spaces in the facility. Amend the schedule of regulations residence districts to add to column 4 of table 1 a new item 16, storage facilities, section 218-61.1. Amend the schedule of regulations residence districts to add column 23 of table I and new item 5, reading as follows. Car storage facilities permitted by special permit with the applicable dimensional bulk area, parking, and use requirements specified in section 218-61.1, which standards shall control over any inconsistent provisions in this table or elsewhere in Chapter 218. Section 3, if any section, sentence, clause, or phrase of this law is held to be invalid or unconstitutional by any court of competent jurisdiction, then said holding will in no way affect the validity of the remaining portions of this law. Section 4, this local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Department of State. Anyone who wishes to speak on this is welcome to do so at this time.
I noticed, I don't know if any of these own antique cars or classic cars or hot rods and stuff like that, but most of us always have cases of oil, an extra gallon of gas or whatever. I noticed in that provision that the ordinance doesn't say a need for fire suppression or detection. How do you go about once this fire starts or prevent a fire?
This is not approving a building. This is approving a change in the code. The building, to build something now, they have to go to the planning board.
And
Now
that's
that they-
where that will be.
Now that they have a vehicle to go to the planning board with, they're going to go with a proposal. The planning board is going to have to analyze that proposal and make whatever requirements they feel is required. And that may very well be one of the requirements. I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else like to address the board on this topic? Be there no further speakers, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the proposed local law.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll move to amend the R20 zone to provide for the special permitted use for car storage, so with the terms and conditions stated by the supervisor.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on public hearing is to amend zoning of 218-20 for house trailers and accessory buildings as residences. There's a lot to read here also. Yes, please.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Mount Pleasant, New York, shall conduct a public hearing at the Town Hall on the 10th day of April, 2018, at 8 p.m. to discuss a proposed local law number 1, which will amend the Town Code 218-20 to permit existing accessory buildings in R40 zones to be used for family residential use. Please take further notice the proposed local law is available for review in the Town Clerk's office. At said hearing, all persons shall be heard. Patricia June Scova, Town Clerk, Town of Mount Pleasant.
Thank you. I'll read the memorandum here. The following zoning text amendment has been drafted to address the occupancy of accessory buildings in certain areas of the town for members of the family or of the primary residence. This amendment modifies the provision that currently applies to domestic employees, Section 218-20. House trailers, accessory buildings as residences. House trailers, as defined in this chapter, shall be prohibited from all districts except that one trailer may be parked or stored in an enclosed accessory garage or accessory building, provided that no living quarters shall be maintained nor any business conducted in connection therewith while such trailer is stored, and except that in districts where lots or showrooms for the display of a motor vehicle are permitted, unoccupied house trailers may be displayed for rent or sale. A trailer with wheels or skids removed may be used for residence or business purposes in districts in which such uses are permitted, provided that it conforms to, and then we go to
All regulations applicable.
Half of the next line.
yeah,
So all regulations applicable to such uses, period. And then we strike.
all regulations applicable to such uses.
Okay.
Okay. Section B, an existing accessory building on the same lot with a main residence shall not be used for residence purposes except, and this has been all modified here, so we're picking out pieces of it. The final draft will be completed. When occupied by a member of a family, example, mother, father, child, cousin, aunt, or uncle residing in the principal residence on a parcel located within the R40 district, one family residence zoning district that has a minimum of 55,000 square feet in area, which is served by public sewer and water, and that be necessary by the building inspector. Therefore, a non-accessory building may be occupied as a residence on the lot. If the family member no longer resides in the accessory building, the dwelling unit shall not be occupied by any other person unless in accordance with the provisions of this section. If the accessory building is reoccupied in accordance with this section, notice of the reoccupancy and documentation of compliance with all provisions of this section shall be immediately provided to the building inspector. This section does not permit the construction of a new accessory building. This is an explanation of proposed revisions. Member of the family residing in the principal residence, this would prevent an absentee landowner that is currently renting the home from accommodating a relative in the accessory building. This would reinforce the purpose of this revision to allow for a family member to be cared for by their family, example, an elderly parent, for example, to help to prevent unrelated occupancy of the accessory building. Family is already defined in the zoning ordinance as one or more persons occupying a dwelling unit and living as a single housekeeping unit in a domestic relationship with kitchen facilities and other rooms used in common. The requirement that this accessory building be used only by a domestic employee has been eliminated. The provision prohibiting kitchen facilities has been eliminated, while the kitchen prohibition may serve to ensure that a family member occupies the accessory building, presumably because sharing meals with the family in the primary residence will be acceptable. The inconvenience is apparent, and more importantly, it is highly likely that makeshift cooking facilities will be installed anyway, potentially in violation of applicable code requirements, thereby creating a hazardous condition. The height restriction was superseded by the reliance on applicable R4 zoning provision. To provide additional parking has been left to the discretion of the building inspector. A firm requirement, say one space be accessory apartment, may not be necessary for an elderly family member may no longer drive. Providing unnecessary parking, creating additional site disturbances, and adding additional paving or impervious surfaces would be disruptive to the residential neighborhood. This determination should be made by case-by-case basis. The 55,000 square foot requirement was established to limit these uses to larger sizes in the R40 district where the impact of use would be minimized. The size of the accessory building residence was limited to avoid the abuse of this provision and to prevent large second dwellings from being constructed. The objective is to accommodate truly accessory units. These accessory units are not intended to remain in perpetuity, but rather to support a specific family member. As a result, when the family member no longer resides in the unit, it would revert to simply an accessory building, and the residence would be abandoned unless occupied by another family member. I don't know if this, and just to make note, this only pertains to existing accessory buildings. So it doesn't allow people to just build an accessory building on their property and then have a family member use it. It has to be existing structures. Anybody wish to speak on that is welcome to do so at this time.
Ken Noonan, Valhalla. I'm just not 100% clear on this. What I'm understanding is if I have a home, a single-family home, and I have a permitted accessory apartment, in other words, I go into the planning board and they have permitted me to...
No, this is accessory building.
I know, I'm getting to that. If I have an accessory apartment in my home, I can rent that to anybody.
The idea of an accessory apartment is generally accepted standards as a family member. That's what the purpose of the accessory apartment law was about. There are cases where it may be a relative or a friend or a stranger, but the purpose of it was to have these accessory apartments available for family members. That was the original intent.
But I don't think the code says that.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But
You can rent it to a stranger.
you could rent it to a stranger.
Yes.
But if I have then an accessory building with a permitted accessory apartment in that accessory building, you're saying that I can only rent that to
A family
member.
Right.
Why?
That's the way the law is written. It's to prevent having it rented out to a stranger.
But what's the difference? It just doesn't seem to me to be any different than renting an accessory apartment in your house.
An accessory apartment is within the building. It's also used for volunteer firefighters and things of that nature. It promotes affordable housing. The other building is separate and distinct. It's not within the building. It's separate from the building.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an accessory apartment in that other structure. Why are you saying that you can only have family there?
But Mr. Noonan, just so it's clear, the existing zoning text before it was amended limited it to family members and domestic employees, I believe. So This really isn't a change limiting it only to, well, it is in a sense, it's crossed out domestic employees, but that's really, in essence, been the only change. There's been clarification in here and talking about existing accessory buildings, so on and so forth, but that's really the only change. We're not amending a situation where you could rent it to anybody and now you can only rent it to family members.
But you have crossed out domestic employees.
We have.
Yeah, yeah.
No question.
That's what I'm not understanding. You know, if you can have a domestic employee in your accessory apartment in your home, why can't you have it in an accessory building?
Well, that's what we thought was the right way to go. We relied on our planning consultant, our attorneys, to come up with a sensible way for people to use an existing structure. This is not something that you're going to see all over the place. It's very limited areas where you can do this. You need 55,000 square feet of property, first of all, to do this.
I know. I
So you're not
understand
gonna do
all
this
that.
like in an
Yeah.
R10 zone that has an accessory apartment.
Yeah, I understand all that. I just don't understand why it's different for the accessory building. Why should that be different from an accessory apartment in your home?
Because we don't want the accessory building being rented out to just anyone. Where an accessory apartment in your home could be rented out pretty much to just about anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. What's the difference?
The difference is that this is what we determined would be the best way to go about this.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else like to speak on this issue is welcome to do so.
Laura Senti, Valhalla. This affects existing, do we know how many people are impacted that would have domestic employees that now can't have domestic employees?
We know of none
Okay,
at this point.
okay. The other concern I have is that the text on both of these public hearings only came out on the website yesterday. And I think when you're doing this type of change, I mean, I know that there was a public notice in the Journal News, which legally you're required to do. But when you're doing a change like this to zoning, I think the public should have a little bit more time to really look at that and understand the language and what is actually being changed.
No, I can appreciate that. It's up until recently, we had the ability to put things on the website. For the town's existence, we never did. A legal notice is what we relied on, getting information out to the public. We're trying to use the website as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, it would just be nice, like, if it had gone out like 2 weeks ago, or even if it went out last week, because it takes a while to look through that and understand it, and if it just went out yesterday, it's not a lot of time between that and tonight's public meeting. So if,
No,
in the future, if you can put it out at least a week or two, especially when it's a change to the code, so that people can really look at that and provide input.
No, point well taken, and we will do our best to get these out faster on the website.
Okay, thanks very much.
Anyone else wish to address the board on this topic? Be there no further speakers, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Smalley to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Amending zoning 218-20. Need a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is going to move on to our supervisor's report. If on the agenda, you'll see that the first item is the appointment of an interim town justice effective June 1st, 2018. Councilman DiPaolo, Chief Oliva, and myself, the past month have conducted interviews. We received 8 resumes and interviewed 8 potential candidates. I have to say that all of them, and Mr. DiPaolo can speak on this if you like, all of them were excellent. It was not an easy decision as far as which way to go on this, but the town board will have to make a decision tonight on which one they're going to go with.
Yeah, I would just say that the interview process was a rewarding one. It was very refreshing to see that our town has so many qualified people with great experiences to draw from, but definitely a rewarding experience for me personally, but also very refreshing to see that our town is full of some very, very qualified people.
Thank you. Now for the appointment of interim town justice, I would ask for a recommendation.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mark Rubio for our town justice.
I would like to second that recommendation and second that motion, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano, seconded by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm abstaining, obviously.
Abstention by Mr. Rubio. Congratulations, Mr. Rubio, on your interim appointment
Thank you. I
to town
appreciate,
justice,
appreciate your confidence, in me, and that's effective.
effective June 1st. Be that eventually there will be a vacancy on the town board with Mr. Rubio's move to the town justice seat, this particular seat on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There will be a vacancy on the town board, so we will be opening up for resumes and interviews for town board seat. As of tomorrow, we will start interviewing. If anybody wishes to submit a resume to the town board is welcome to do so.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to say a few words, please.
Sure.
I voted for Mark because, first of all, I'd like to thank Justice Maselli for doing a fabulous job. He's a man of integrity. He did a great job for us. He served our town brilliantly, so special thank you to him. I voted for Mark because I was looking for someone with integrity, someone with family values, someone that believes in our town, someone that helps children, someone that is a leader and that knows our court systems inside and out. He's also a very respected attorney. He's done a fabulous job with the planning board. He is a superb council member. There are people in this community that don't get involved. He got involved, he took action, he walked the walk, and he proved himself big time. He has my respect, and I'm very honored to vote for him. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Saliano.
I also want to say that Tom really took the wind out of my sails, but that's okay. I strongly support the appointment of Mark Rubio to the position of town justice. I will miss him on the board. I have known Mark to be a kind and a dedicated civil servant, working alongside him here on the town board. For the past 4 years, I've witnessed his ability to clearly define, to focus, to defend, and to resolve many areas of conflict that we've had on the board. Discussions. Being on the board is not an easy position, and I found that to be true. It is dedicated work. It's not only sitting up here once a week, it's the work you put in behind the scenes. It's being able to stand up for what you believe in, to defend yourself, but to defend everyone here in the town, to put Mount Pleasant first, and Mark certainly does that. He's able to do that with a clear sense of who he is and who we are here in Mount Pleasant. I believe that he will be fair and honest judge. I have every confidence that he will serve the town of Mount Pleasant with great pride and with great honesty and with great authority. At a time when we all question who our individuals are in authority, I believe that at this point in our history, Mark Rubio will serve us the best as our town justice. I look at Nick Maselli as a person I had great respect for. We will miss him here in the courtroom, but I know that Mark will fill those shoes and fill them well. Thank you for being a colleague on the board, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Smalley. I appreciate that very much.
I had the distinct pleasure of being one of the people that approved Mark to be a councilman on the town board a few years back. It was 8 years, about 8 years ago. From day one, Mark has always been a very important member of our town board. He always brought sense to the board. His legal background has also been a great assistance to us when our town attorney may not have been there. I do believe Mark to have good judgment, and I think that he would be a fair and impartial judge, and we'll look forward to working with him in the future of this town. And again, with Judge Maselli, he will be dearly missed. He was a great guy, but I am confident that Mark will do his best to fill Nick's shoes. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, very much. It's been my privilege to serve with all of you.
Moving on, item 2 is call for a public hearing for Peter Stallone of 35 Palmer Lane in Valhalla to be annexed into our Valhalla Sewer District. These people have a failed septic system, and there's a need for them to tie into our sewer system. So we'd like to schedule that public hearing for
24th.
April 24th. A motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the request the release of a performance bond to Thomas Estates subdivision and accept a maintenance bond from Thomas Estates. Town of Mount Pleasant is holding a performance bond in the amount of $143,000. The performance bond was held by Greater Hudson Valley Bank. It is recommended that the performance bond be released, and the enclosed maintenance bond shall be accepted by the Town of Mount Pleasant for a period of 1 year. The maintenance bond is being held by United States Fire Insurance Company as surety.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Saliano.
Okay.
Motion by Ms. Smalley.
I think I'll second that.
Nothing to
Second
say.
by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Authorization to solicit proposals for the roof replacement at the highway garage. Many of you know, it's one of the items we had bonded for. The roof is leaking, and it's something that is in desperate repair. The authorization is requested to solicit proposals for the replacement of the highway garage roof and other related improvements of this project. Estimated cost to complete this work with an asphalt shingle roof is approximately $1.284 million, which under the approved bonded amount of $1.35 million. We will also be including an alternate to upgrade the asphalt shingle roof system to a metal roof system, which would only be considered if bids are returned under the approved bonded amount. The highway garage roof is beyond its service life, leaks periodically, and requires constant repair. The majority of this project will be to replace the existing flat roof with a more visibly appealing peaked roof system. The project will replace the office windows, which are beyond their useful service life, have limited operation, and lack the insulating capacity to assist in keeping the office temperatures at a comfortable level for staff. If approval is granted at the April 10th Town Board meeting, then the projected plans and specifications will be made available to contractors on April 20th, 2018, and the bid opening is scheduled to occur on May 11th, 2018. I need a motion to approve the authorization to solicit proposals.
I'd like to make a motion of approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, appoint John LaVecchia as part-time fire inspector for 17.5 hours per week at $30 per hour, effective Monday, April 9th, 2018.
Just a question on this, Mr. Supervisor. This is a current employee in a different title, and this changes the recommendation of the county human resources, is that correct?
Yes. The county has been a challenge in hiring any civil service employees. They keep changing what they believe their requirements are, and we have our own
Oh, I see.
requirements.
Okay.
It's been a challenge hiring anybody in town here going through this process. We have found that he is presently has been conducting pretty much the same duties as he will be doing, so it's not much of a change in his position. More of a classification, the title classification.
And it's also the recommendation of our human resources consultant?
Yes, it is.
I'd move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo.
I'd like to second that, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
Hold on a second.
Next item. I'm sorry.
I just want a point of clarification on this, please. And I don't mean to be so specific, but on number 5, appoint John Lavecchio as part-time fire inspector, and I have here on the memorandum from code enforcer, part-time fire inspector. What does I know the county is giving us a hard time. Okay. Yep, I just checked it out, and thank you very much. I'm now perfectly fine with saying yes. Thank you very much for giving me the...
I sent out
Yes, you
another
did.
letter to try to clarify this to every
Yeah.
board member, because I know there was some confusion there.
There's so much controversy with the county. I appreciate your time with me. Thank you. I vote in favor. Thank you.
Request a list of certification of eligibles for police officer for replacement of upcoming and present retirees. We recently had, our most recent one is Mike Dolan, retired,
Yeah.
and we have some potential retirees coming up. So this call for a list will give the chief the availability to look at the list and see what the potential candidates could be moving forward.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Saliano, second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is enter into an agreement with Matthew and Linda Kelly of 848 Sherman Avenue in Thornwood for the right-of-way of town property for parking. Presently, this landowner has an area that's on the town right-of-way that they are using. This gives them the right to use that particular property. If at any time they sell, this agreement would have to be renewed. All the details have been worked out with our town attorney with them.
I'll move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to amend the volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers exemption. We presently have an exemption for firefighters and ambulance workers provided under RPTL 466-D, and we are adding the language which will now be mirror what the other state requirements are. The spouse of a qualified person having the exemption and which firefighter or ambulance worker is killed in the line of duty may continue to receive the exemptions as long as said spouse remains unremarried and continues to own the home. Second item is the spouse of a qualified person may continue to receive this exemption on the passing of a qualified person as long as the spouse remains unmarried and owns a home, provided the qualified person has 20 or more years of active service.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is call for a public hearing for parking prohibited certain hours on Brighton Avenue in Hawthorne. Lieutenant Pierce has received numerous requests this year to install temporary no parking at any time signs on Brighton Avenue from the intersection of Broad Street south to the entrance of Hawthorne Elementary School. Himself and the police staff have examined the location and confirmed that the traffic safety issue is present. To enhance traffic safety but not impede on local residents, I am recommending that Town Ordinance 206-49, 15, prohibited parking certain hours be amended as below. Name of street, it's both sides, Brighton, corner of Broad Street, south for 100 feet to school driveway, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., school days only. And we can schedule this public hearing for
it the 24th?
April 24th.
Right.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Request to contract engineering services from Charles A. Manganaro, Consulting Engineers for Phase 1 of Old Farm Water District Asbestos Water Main Replacement Project. Authorization is requested to contract engineering services with Charles A. Manganaro to perform design services for the first phase of the replacement of the asbestos water main in the Old Farm Water District. The amount of this request is $494,400 to be funded out of the town's fund balance. The fund balance allocation will be returned from capital bonding funding once the project bond has been secured later this year. Bless you.
Thank you.
The services to be performed by Manganaro Engineers will complete the design, bid packages, and estimate concurrently for 2 independent stages of the first phase. The first stage of this project will replace 1,385 lineal feet of water main on Deerfield Lane North and Laurel Lane in the district. The final stage of this project will replace 12,350 lineal feet of water main in the Usoni and Bear Ridge Road areas of the district. The proposal includes the fee to expedite the design as to permit the town to let this project construction in this season. The department is requesting this expedition and use of fund balance as to advance the project, as to these locations are two of the highest areas of water main repair occurrences in the district. The sooner the asbestos pipe is replaced, the sooner the district will receive the benefits of reduced costs from repairs, water losses, and increased fire protection from the new water main installation. So this resolution will authorize Charles A. Manganaro to perform the design services of the first phase.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley.
I'll second that, and just, I guess for public clarification, it's, the work is being performed from funds from the Old Farm Water District. The engineering costs are coming out of the town general fund temporarily until the bonding is secured for this project and then returned. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I'll
Just
second it.
To add to this, this is part of the bigger project that will encompass Usonia Road, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. 16 million. Yes.
We are also working with our grant professionals
Yes.
to try to secure funding. That's why it's being done in phases, because we're hoping that we may get some grant money to help us on the second phase of this project.
Move for approval.
I think we
Already a motion, huh?
already did that. Second by Mr. DiPaolo. All
It
in
was
favor?
quiet, it was quiet, I thought we were waiting for something.
Next item is a lump sum.
Grant.
I'm sorry?
I said we're waiting for a grant.
Waiting for
Yeah.
a grant.
Next item is a lump sum payout
We
to
didn't
our
vote.
former deputy
Clark,
control.
we have a motion and a second, but we didn't vote.
Oh, we do need to vote, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion you should have been the judge, sir.
That's, you wouldn't want that.
Next, lump sum payout to Jack Saraba, our former deputy. Total amount is $468.97.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the last part of the refinishing of the supervisor's office, the installation of the carpet tiles. Purchase order is 18366. The total amount is $4,796.
Move for approval.
I'll second
Motion by
that.
Mr. DiPaolo, second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is purchase order 18730. This is unfortunately emergency work that is required at our pump station for Spruce Hill Sewer Pump Station. This will be supply and install 1,000-gallon propane tank. We are converting from an existing diesel generator to a propane gas generator. This will eliminate the problem of insuring that oil tank, which is actually an issue with right now. It is in a containment facility which is containing it, but it has to be removed, and that's another part of this, another resolution. Resolution 210 will approve the emergency work required for the 1,000-gallon propane tank, cost of $9,384.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley, second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, which is all part of this problem at Spruce Hill, purchase order 18731, supply and install new Kohler propane generator with transfer switch at the aforesaid Spruce Hill pump station. Total is $31,645.
Can I make a motion for approval, please?
Motion by Mrs. Saliano,
Second.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Purchase order 18734, Webster Ford. 2 new Ford Transit cargo vans for Water and Sewer Department. This is also part of our bonding of equipment for this year. This is a New York State contract for light-duty vehicles. Total cost is $51,058.52.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Purchase order 18735 goes back to the Spruce Hill situation. This is removal of a 1,000-gallon fuel tank, convolt, and spent fuel sludge for the generator tank. Total cost of this purchase order is $9,075.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Did anybody see it?
We need a motion.
Need a motion?
Motion for approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano.
I think, Mr. Supervisor, the reason why we're quiet is that I don't see it in our packet.
Did you have it in your packet?
You don't have 18735?
I don't think so.
We spoke about this at the work session.
We spoke about it, but I don't think we ever had it. May I see the purchase order, please? I know it's the third part of the Spruce Hill, of the,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, 9,774.
This is a removal of there's a vault that holds the oil tank.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Remove that, the fuel has leaked into that vault.
Okay.
Remove the vault and the tank.
when Dave made his presentation in the work session, it was discussed.
Yes, it was. You
Okay.
were right. We just didn't see it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Thank you.
I can make that motion and move for approval for that. Thank you. Okay, I'll second that. Thank you.
Motion by Mrs. Saliano, second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I have the receiver of taxes report for March 2018, and our investment report jumped up to a 1.05%.
Oh, honey's getting better.
Right now, we go to business from the floor. Anybody wish to address the board is welcome to do so at this time.
Ken Noonan, Valhalla. I just wondered if you had any updates for us on the railroad crossing issue. The last meeting with the MTA and the DOT, you thought that there would be another meeting kind of right after the Christmas holidays, and here it is April, and we haven't heard anything. Can you give us an update on what's going on?
There is no update. There's been no further conversation with the MTA or the state on this project. The general consensus in the town, many of the area, was not to push it. if I get anything from them further, we will continue on the conversation. I still have not received even the transcript of those 2 meetings, which we've been waiting for also.
I haven't.
You haven't?
Yeah, I even
never
have
saw
it.
'em. Oh, I'm glad you got them, because I never did. I think I should have
We
them, too.
just got,
Would you share it with us, please? No,
Sure.
I'm just joking.
Well, I wanted to make a comment about it, actually.
Well, it'd be good if I read it.
Yeah, well, this will help you understand most of the comments don't have a label of the person who made the comment. Most of these are voice from the floor. And that's inclusive of even me being up here at the microphone. I mean, it's just great. And none of the names of the MTA people or the DOT people are mentioned. So you don't know who's saying these things. So it's pretty much a useless document. I just wanted the next time we have a meeting, maybe you could set up some kind of a dais here.
We had a stenographer. We had a stenographer.
There was a
here, right?
Yeah,
stenographer.
word stenographer, but not that it's entirely his fault. I mean, the MTA people and the DOT people were buried in the audience here, so I give them a
But
little slack.
everybody gave their name when they spoke.
No, we paid.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, but
Right,
if you look at this and you'll see when you get your copy,
That's
voice from the
surprising.
floor.
That's surprising.
So I was just wondering if the next time could you set up maybe a dais here with having the MTA people and the DOT people and with their names in front of them, and I think it maybe.
actually, Mr. Noonan, when they sat back there and they only said their names quickly, and it was inappropriate for them to be introduced the way they were.
Yeah, I know. I think they should have possibly been up here. I just wanted to.
So we did ask them to be up here and to introduce themselves. It was their decision to do it the way. Yeah, absolutely. I remember that vividly.
Wow. Okay.
They didn't want-
The next question I have is regarding the property at 408 Elwood Avenue, which was used to be the Bel Paese restaurant.
Right.
Is that property currently being offered for sale?
Not yet. There's a small piece on either side of that building that's still owned by the previous owner. We are trying to negotiate with them now to take those 2 pieces because we want to sell it all as a package so the town can get their money back, and then it will be sold to a developer to build it.
Yeah, but I know that, from attending the IDA meetings. But why not, in the interim, why not offer the piece that you do have, that you do own? Why isn't that being offered for sale?
Well, if I may, our thought too, Mr. Noonan, was that, as you know, we're working on a master plan right now. And so we see a vital piece of that master plan is that Hawthorne downtown area. And the concern is that if we were to just sell it off, is that ultimately someone could just put anything there. And the idea is to try and have, what we're trying to fight right now is kind of what we have, which is just a hodgepodge. There's no cohesiveness to our downtown. There's no plan right now. And so the idea was, and I don't mean to speak for my colleagues, but the idea was that we've discussed, or that we'd like to see I guess it would be the IDA do ultimately, would be that the property does get sold. There's no question about that. So, but we would like to wait until after the master plan is done, because then it can be part of whatever that plan is for downtown. And the other thought process was that, and what some municipalities are doing in order to attract developers is to do the SECRA work up front. To do all the environmental impact stuff and all those type of things up front, so that it can result in development occurring quicker, and them not having to go through the full planning board process. So that's something that again, not to speak for my fellow board members, but the discussions that we've had from time to time center around that idea. Because if we sell it off now, someone can put whatever they want there, and it might not fit into the ultimate plan as to what we want to do downtown. So in our opinion, it was better to hang on to it until that master plan is done, and then have that piece be kind of the linchpin of the part of the revitalization of downtown, and what the master plan kind of centers around.
I thought the master plan was more involved with establishing zoning for the area, not controlling what actually goes into the land.
But isn't that what zoning is?
Well, I mean, controlling the zoning in the sense that you zone it for commercial or you zone it for residential.
Right.
But sounds like you're wanting to control it even a little more than that.
Well, I think that, I think that, and I mean, maybe you disagree, but ultimately, whatever goes down there, we want it to fit. And so I don't think we necessarily have a plan to say that you're going to put this store there and only this store, and it's going to be open from these hours, and your floors are going to be this color, and your countertops are going to be this color. But rather to be in a position where just to say, this is the range of things that we'd like to see there. What is your idea? Because whoever buys that parcel is going to have to go to the planning board and all those type of things. So, and it's got to fit at the end of the day. I think it would be irresponsible of us in the midst of a master plan to just go and sell that parcel, which we view as the linchpin of that downtown area, when a big part of the whole master plan is having some sort of cohesiveness and an idea for our downtowns.
So you're saying that parcel is the linchpin of the?
In my opinion,
Really?
it's a big piece. It's a big piece of land down there.
It's a big piece of land when all three parcels are put together. The
Right.
parcel that's currently owned by the town right now, by itself, I don't see why any developer would want to spend a lot of, time and energy on that. It's pretty small.
The other two pieces are not developable on their own.
Right.
So the three of them together makes it a decent piece of property for somebody to develop. That's why we're trying to do it all together also.
And
Yeah, we'll do.
and I encourage you, please, we have this whole master plan process going. I hope you participate.
Oh, I intend to.
Good. We
I
have a
intend
public
to,
meeting
yeah.
coming up in May, at the end of May, and it's important that people go and express their opinions and their concerns and their ideas. I mean, that's the whole idea about this.
Yeah.
The
But-
work we've done as a board and the discussions we've had and going around the county and taking a look, and we take a look at what's going on and the changes here in Mount Pleasant, and we look at the big development of Regeneron, we look at the new millennial population coming forward, and we look at what is happening in communities around us, and I take Pleasantville as an example. They're developing into more of a walkable community because society's changed and it's happening right here. I look at Valhalla and look at Valhalla developing into places where people will shop and go to the small restaurants there, and they have transportation. That's what that little parcel of one and the two little pieces on the side there in Hawthorne, directly across from the train station, that's the potential, and that's part of the vision that we've talked about many, many times for that particular downtown area. And as we said, it's a linchpin for that corridor, that Commerce, Elwood kind of corridor there. So that's what we're trying to develop. We're trying to bring the focus back into the interior of Mount Pleasant instead of all of us going outside of Mount Pleasant to get our essential services done. We're trying to redevelop our town from the inside out and keep
good
us
way to
here
put it.
and make us more cohesive.
But you have a piece of property there that apparently you have, from what I understand, you've lost $350,000 in taxes that you didn't collect. You invested almost $100,000 to remove the building. So you got all this, and it's just sitting there and not being offered for sale for over a year now, I think.
But as Mr. Rubio even started out as, if it is possible to gain access to both those two small pieces on the side, put it together, it's like bundle packaging, and then bundle it together and sell it. That's where we're hoping to recoup that.
So if you had a buyer today, you tell them, forget about it, we don't want to sell it today?
With the two additional parcels, the value of all three is going to be much more attractive and much higher.
I know, but
And
if somebody came to you today and said, I want to buy that, I want to put up whatever he wants to put up, you would tell him no?
Possibly, because the other thing too is that right now, right now it may not necessarily be developable. So the idea is to, if there's a master plan there and it's clear to a developer what can go there, and part of the secret work is already done for them, that enhances the value of the property tremendously, and that's the idea. So ultimately, I mean, why would you want to? My opinion, why would you want to buy it and build down there right now when there's so much uncertainty around?
Without the other two pieces, it's not
I-
developable.
It's not, so if all three parcels are together and there's a master plan with a clear direction for a developer, the property in my opinion, as a real estate lawyer, becomes much more valuable.
It would only benefit the developer to look at what we're thinking and for him to put it all together. He'd have a better product at the end of the whole process.
So you said at the IDA meeting that if you were not able to sell the property, and this is after adding the 2 other parcels, that you have a project in mind for that property. Can you tell us what that project is?
We don't have a definitive project at this time.
It seemed
We
like
have
you-
ideas of what we'd like to see there, but
Well, it seemed like you had a project. You said it at the IDA meeting.
no. The project is the taking of those 2 parcels. That's part of the IDA project, is the taking of those 2 properties. And the project, the culmination of that will be everything together will become the entire project. We're also looking at the piece of property from there going south to possibly have a municipal lot there to help local businesses.
That's a
The
4th
project-
parcel, though.
The project encompasses the area.
But you don't have
No, we're not saying it's going to be a certain type of building or anything like that. We have no right to make that kind of determination at this point.
well, that's essentially what Mr. Rubio was saying. That
Well, no, not right, but what he said is not right now. So the master plan will change the zoning, which will alter what can go down there.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the board?
Hello, John Carminucci, 989 Broadway, Thornwood. First of all, congratulations, Mr. Rubio, on your new appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Carminucci.
I wanted to know if the board took into account that I stood here 8 months ago, and asked this board about the fraudulent activity that Mr. Rubio was involved in with the petition signing. Signing 6 or 7 different petitions stating he lived in 6 or 7 different districts. So I was wondering if he disclosed that to you, if maybe you forgot that I came here and showed you those. Also, if he is still under investigation for that, so I was wondering if that was taken
Who's
into
conducting that investigation?
the Attorney General's office. Was it taken into consideration at all?
It's up to the Board of Elections to review that. It's not for us to review.
No, that I brought fraudulent activity to your attention.
Well, it's not for you to bring fraudulent
Yeah, I know,
accusations to
yeah,
the town.
especially with this board. Yeah.
Right. Not with you, of course.
Well, moving on then.
Please.
On July 13th, 2017, I think it was, I came here and I asked about, I was looking for details of the sanctioning of the Deputy Town Attorney, Chris McClure, that occurred back in, I believe it was 2013, for witness tampering and intimidation. And you told me, Carl, that you would look into it and get back to me.
Wasn't that thrown out? That case?
That's my understanding.
Can I get that information from you?
You can reach out to the town attorney. I'm sure he could provide that to you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Also, Pat's daughter was in a couple months ago, maybe I think it was late February, and discussed that the town attorney has not had, deputy town attorney's office and the town attorney have not had the delegation of authority issued from the County of Westchester since the year 2000, and the the oath of office was never filed, which is required by New York State. I think it's the Department of State requires that the town attorney to prosecute zoning code violations criminally needs to have filed that oath of office and needs to obtain that delegation of authority. Things got a little heated that night, but I just wanted to give you each a copy that it turns out she was right. The delegation of authority, at least up until 2015, I have a freedom here. So I've prepared a copy for you all, so you all can review it and see that she was right. And the deputy town attorney and the town attorney have been operating fraudulently. So I'll just hand these off to you and do with them what you wish. You might want to rectify the situation as you move forward. Thank
I
you.
advise that for most people, rectify their situations.
This is the delegation of authority, my freedom, and the answer.
Thank you.
There you go. And this is the oath of office that should have been filed as well.
Thank you.
And when you do decide how you're going to rectify it, could you please let me know? Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board at this time? They're welcome to do so. Being there no further speakers, I will move on to the town clerk's report.
Public hearings, local law number 1, 2018, accessory buildings for residential use, local law number 2, 2018, car storage facilities. Received supervisor and registrar's report from March 2018. Received building department report from March 2018. Received fully executed contract with Midwestchester Lawn Service. Received certification for special election for Mechanical Hills Fire District. Planning Board agenda, April 16, 2018. 7th Zoning Board resolution. Enzo Idarosa, Aldo and Jessica Cerrone, Guy Seton, 4 West Norwood LLC. Kev and Sam LLC, Debbie Farino, 3 Parr Road LLC. 4 Planning Board resolutions, 9 Walnut Place subdivision, 9 Walnut Place secret, assisted living residence zoning text amendment, and Thomas F. Alfredo steep slope permit approval. And 1 notice of claim, Gina Polano versus the town of Mount Pleasant.
Item H will be referred to our town attorney.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to council reports, Councilman Celiano.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My report's from the Controller's Office. The following claims are submitted for Town Board approval from the Town Clerk's Office. General Code, Publishing Corporation, Code Analysis Composition, $1,628.30. From Building, Town Hall, A.G. Williams Company, Incorporated. This is painting for the Supervisor's Office, $2,800. Repair, prep, and paint the conference room for the Supervisor, $2,600. Skim coat of upper walls, Supervisor's Office, $1,600. Dennis Adams Contracting Incorporated. This is for crown molding for the Supervisor's Office. It was $950. FRM Mechanical Incorporated. Remove and replace Sloan flush valve, $558. For that category is $8,508. Moving forward to special consulting services. Historic Hudson River Towns, 2018 membership dues. That was for $2,000. From Public Safety, Loose Leaf Law Publications Incorporated. That was for law books, $576.05. From Safety Inspection, Software Consulting Associates Incorporated, annual service from 4/1/18 to 3/31/19, $2,120. Certified Elevator Inspections Incorporated, elevator inspection, $2,250. The total is $4,370 for that category. Moving forward to adult programs, Cameron Kelly, ballroom dance, $960. Total body sculpturing, $440. Yoga, $440. Yoga Bee, $440. Yoga Lattes, $440. Total is $2,720. From Highway Machinery, Tire Buys Incorporated, these are for tires for HD trucks, $1,900. From the Capital Building Improvement, Alarm Specialists Incorporated, Central Station Monitoring, $570. Security Access Cards, $159 for a grand total of $729. From the Capital Joint Water District, National Meeting Services Incorporated, water meeting installation, $61,444.10. From Schmitz Wholesale Incorporated, 5978 water meters, $3,930 for a grand total of $65,374.10. From the Mount Pleasant Consolidated Sewer District, Kinsley Power Systems, generator rental, Spruce Hill, $2,563. AMX Cooling and Heating, LLC. This is office heat for 119 Lorenza Drive, $653.60. The total for that category is $5,779.60. Moving forward to the Joint Water District Fund, AMX Cooling and Heating, LLC. This is again 119 Lorenza Drive.
That's Loza.
Loza Drive, correction, sorry. 98040. From the Pleasantville Road Water, National Meeting Services Incorporated, lead service testing was $12. Lead service testing from 1110 to 1130, 2017 was $24. Village of Pleasantville Water District, Pace Bypass, Woodfield Drive, $1,271.78. From Pace Main, Woodfield Drive, $127,096.91 for a grand total of $128,404.69. From Bear Ridge Lake Water District, Admiral Conservation Services. That was for a leak detection, Oak Ridge. That was $4,330. National Meeting Services Incorporated, lead service test from 2/1 to 2/28, $144. Lead service testing from 1110 to 1130, $180. Grand total in that category is $4,654. From Meadowbrook Water District, National Meeting Services Incorporated, lead service test from 2/1 to 2/28, that was $12, and lead service testing from 1110 to 1130 is $24. Moving forward to Old Farm Hill Water District, National Meeting Services Incorporated, lead service testing from 2/1 to 2/28, $192. Lead service testing from 1110 to 1130, $540 for a grand total of $732 for that category. Moving forward to Mechanical Water District number 1. National Meeting Services Incorporated, lead service testing from 2/1 to 2/28, $36. From lead service testing from 1110 to 1130, $72. The total in that category is $108. From Apple Hill Farm Water District, National Meeting Services Incorporated, lead service testing from 2/1 to 2/28, $36. And lead service testing from 1110 to 1130, $36. The total was $72 for that particular category. From the Pleasantville Extension Number 1 Water District, National Meeting Services Lead Service Test from 2/1 to 2/28, $36. Lead Service Test from 11/10 to 11/30, $36 for a grand total of $72. From the Mill River Water District, National Meeting Services for $72. From the Kensico Water District, Goosetown Communications, Data Communications Error Water, $1,957.50. Troubleshooting and reprogramming, $1,962.50. From National Meeting Services Incorporated, again, lead service testing from 1/2 to 1/31, $648. Lead service testing from 2/1 to 2/28, $3,948. And again, lead service testing from 11/10 to 11/30, $4,260. And finally, lead service testing from 12/1 to 12/31, $2,880. For that category, it was $15,656. And the grand total is $244,372.14. And it's signed Marie Langlois. She's our controller. I respectfully ask our board for a motion of approval for the controller's memo, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I thank you. I have another item for you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, from our controller's office, this is a budget reallocation to replace 2 chlorine tanks at the pool. So we have an increase of $2,766 from the B fund. It's B7141.443. It's classified under pool equipment maintenance. And then we have a decrease of $2,766. Again, the B fund 7110.400, and that's from Parks Contractual. I ask the board for a motion of approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I thank you. Have a very good evening.
Thank you. Councilman Rubio.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have 5 items on this evening's agenda, most of which are purchase orders, but before that, we have a recommendation from our Police Chief, Paul Leva, to approve Sergeant Sean Ford's request to attend the Mid-Atlantic Law Enforcement Executive Seminar in Princeton, New Jersey from June 10 to June 15, 2018. Cost for the training is $700. I move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Ms. Saliano. Ms. Smalley.
Again?
Voice deep tonight?
Oh, man.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Don't
Next,
throw your way.
we have purchase order 18623. The vendor is Major Police Supply, and this is to set up the interior of 2 police cars, we call them line cars, for prisoner seating. This is, the pricing was obtained through another, a contract through another county. The purchase price is $2,969, and I move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, purchase order 18625. The vendor is East Coast Emergency Lighting Incorporated. This is emergency lighting on 2 of the new SUV vehicles we'll be receiving. Again, this is a piggyback contract with Rockland County. We saved approximately 50% off the list price. The total is $5,495.26, and I move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. There's a notation on here indicating that this money came from some bonding that we did. So, next, purchase order 18626. The vendor is Major Police Supply. These are 2 printer mounts and 1 Ford floor plate. The printer mounts are for the printers we use to write tickets. The total price is $674.50, and I move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And finally, purchase order 18677. The vendor is Rescue Stuff. These are bulletproof vests or ballistic vests for officers Jeff Galzewski, Dan Franco, Lou Galveri, and Walter O'Keefe. These are 10-year replacements, and one half of the cost is being reimbursed by the Bulletproof Vest Partnership. Total cost is $3,474.40. Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Councilwoman Smalley.
Good evening. I have 9 items from Parks and Rec. The first is memo number 24, requesting the approval to hire Brandon DeRubis as part-time parks ranger at a salary of $11.50 per hour and Robert Sonderquist as a part-time groundskeeper at a salary of $12.50 per hour, both effective April 11th, 2018. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is memo number 25, requesting to hire Rachel Faso as an unpaid intern for the Office of Elderly Americans from April 16th to June 6th, 2018. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
The third item is purchase order number 18839, and this is to replacement of 2 chlorine tanks at the Mount Pleasant Pool as per the proposal, to provide and install level gauge and alarm for each tank as per the proposal. The total cost is $10,285. Move for approval, please, and the vendor is Ray Palmer Associates.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item, please, is purchase order number 18851, Westchester Burner Services, annual maintenance contract for the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system at the Mount Pleasant Community Center, which is our center that's so well used. The contract period is from 5/1/18 to 4/30/19. It's actually the same price since 2007. The total cost is $4,600. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is purchase order 18853, and this is for 2 2018 senior citizen handicap transportation buses as per specifications from Matthews Bus Alliance Incorporated, 4802 West Colonial Drive, Orlando, Florida. It's a New York State contract number. Each unit's price is $64,748 for a total for both buses for $129,496. Move for approval, please.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on, the next items are to cover programs for our children in the day camps. Purchase order 2018-11 or 2018-11, Camel Beach, admission, meal vouchers, and trip date for Camel Beach of 7/9/18. The total cost will be $5,863.35. The next item, move for
Motion by,
approval, please.
motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is purchase order 2018-12 for Dorney Park, admission, meal voucher, and this total cost here will be $6,819.75. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank
Motion
you.
carries.
The next item is 2018-13, and this is for trip to the Intrepid. And the total cost is $1,204.50. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the last item this evening is 2018-14, admission to Splish Splash, meal tickets and the bus, Again, a day camp program, and that is total cost of $6,606. Hold on a second here. $6,606.
67.
$67.45. Thank you. Now you know I'm a nurse and not a mathematician. Okay, thank you. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smoley,
Yes,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
thank you.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Please note, again, as I've said many times, the cost of the trip is absorbed in the fees that parents and guardians pay for the day camp programs. Please also note that Saturday, I believe, opens up part of the Little League season, if I'm not mistaken. So as they say, play ball. Hopefully our youth and our adults will have a wonderful season once the snow stops. And Parks and Rec has been working very, very hard to get all the fields and all the parks up and running. So thank you for your patience awaiting the spring season. Please know that the pool staff is also working very hard in hopes of being opened by Memorial Day if the weather holds out. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman DiPaolo.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening to the public. On behalf of the Highway Department, there are 7 items on the agenda this evening. The first is a request to correct Resolution 192-8 to reflect the hire date and start date for Dominic DiMaselli to be March 21st. I would move to make this correction.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The second item is seeking authorization to hire Mark Volz Jr. as our Motor Equipment Operator 2. The starting salary will be per the union agreement. If approved and pending physical exam, the start date would be April 11th, 2018. Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The third item is a request to award bituminous materials laid in place, various different items which are on file if anyone wishes to see them. The vendor would be Westchester Hills Landscaping of Harrison, New York, and they are the lowest bidder. Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The fourth item is to award the bid for bituminous materials delivered and picked up. Again, various materials, all on file if you wish to see them. The vendor would be Peckham Material in White Plains, and again, they are the lowest bidder. I would move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5 is authorization for purchase order 18597, and that is to purchase an additional 500 tons of road salt from Atlantic Salt. The total for this purchase is $34,890. Move for approval and hope it's the last one of the season.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6 is authorization for purchase order 18599, and that is to purchase 3 2018 Ford F550 chassis. In addition to that, it's also to purchase the delivery option for the said 3 cab chassis. The vendor is Genesee Valley Ford, and the cost is a total of $117,621.99. I would move for approval.
This is per our bond, equipment bond also.
I'll
Motion
second
by,
that.
motion by Mr. DiPaolo, second by Ms. Smoley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And the last item on the agenda this evening for the Highway Department is seeking authorization for purchase order number 18600, and that is to purchase 3 Henderson stainless steel dump truck bodies with sander and plow systems. The vendor is Henderson Products out of Watertown, New York, and the total for all 3 dump truck bodies is $187,071. Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Schedule of meetings, Tuesday, April 17th will be our work session at 7 p.m. Tuesday, April 24th will be our business session at 8 p.m. If there be no further business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. Motion to adjourn. Thank you.